All right, settle in, because we're about to peel back the layers on a legend whose story is so compelling, so filled with raw intensity and tragic beauty. It practically demands to be told in vivid detail. Forget the dry biographies. We're talking about Bob Gassoff, a name that still sends shivers down the spines of hockey history, buffs and ignites a spark of admiration in anyone who hears his tale. This isn't just a recount of a career. It's an immersive journey into the life of a player who was more than just an athlete. He was a force of nature, a symbol of an era, and a heartbreaking reminder of how quickly a star can fade. Prepare for a deep dive, because by the end of this, you won't just know about Bob Gassoff. You'll feel like you knew him. The tale begins in the rugged, untamed landscapes of Quesnel, British Columbia, where Robert Allen Gassoff burst onto the scene on April 17, 1953. This wasn't just a birthplace. It was a crucible, shaping a young boy into the relentless force he would become. Picture this: a world where hockey wasn't just a sport, but a way of life, especially for a family like the Gassoffs. Their home on Quesnel Hydraulic Road wasn't merely a residence. It featured a frozen patch that served as Bob's first rink, a humble but sacred ground where the seeds of a legendary career were sown. From the tender age when most children are just learning to walk, Bob was already lacing up skates, the crisp Canadian air biting at his cheeks as he chased pucks with an almost spiritual fervor. His parents, Albert and Denise Gassoff, were not just spectators. They were architects of his passion, nurturing his raw talent and supporting his journey through countless local youth tournaments. They understood that this wasn't just a fleeting interest. It was a profound calling, a destiny etched in ice and grit. The dedication began early, with the family cultivating an environment where Bob's burgeoning talent could truly flourish. But the remarkable hockey lineage within the Gassoff family didn't stop with Bob. His older brother, Brad Gassoff, also carved out a notable career, gracing the hallowed ice of the NHL. And the talent pool ran even deeper. Ken Gassoff, another brother born in 1954, caught the discerning eye of both the New York Rangers in the NHL and the Houston Aeros in the WHA during the 1974 drafts. Imagine the scene at family gatherings, not just polite conversation, but fierce competitive stick-handling battles on the backyard rink, friendly rivalries that undoubtedly honed their skills and forged the unbreakable bonds between these burgeoning titans of the ice. Hockey wasn't merely a sport for the Gassoffs. It was a shared language, a way of life, a legacy woven into the very fabric of their family, passed down through generations with every slap shot and every bone-rattling check. This familial passion instilled in Bob a deep understanding of hard work and competition, laying the groundwork for his future dominance. As Bob matured, his physical presence became as undeniable as his passion. Standing at a solid 5 feet 10 inches, 178 centimeters, and weighing a robust 190 pounds, 86 kilograms, he was a compact powerhouse, built like a brick wall on skates. His physique was perfectly suited for the grueling physical demands of being a defenseman. The year 1973 marked a pivotal moment in his burgeoning career. The hockey world was abuzz with draft anticipation, and Bob was squarely on the radar of professional scouts. The St. Louis Blues, recognizing his immense potential, selected him in the third round of the NHL amateur draft, making him the 48th overall pick. This was a significant achievement, but the story gets even more intriguing. In the same year, the rival World Hockey Association, through its own amateur draft, saw the Minnesota Fighting Saints snatch him up even earlier, in the third round, as the 33rd overall selection. This dual drafting underscored just how highly regarded Bob was across the professional hockey landscape. He was a hot commodity, a rising star with a reputation for uncompromising toughness and a relentless drive to win. Bob's journey through the ranks of junior and minor league hockey was a whirlwind of development and a clear indication of his unwavering commitment. He didn't just play in these leagues, he dominated them, honing his craft and solidifying his reputation as a formidable presence on the ice. He laced up his skates for the Vernon Essos in the BCJHL, a foundational experience that sharpened his defensive instincts. Next, he moved on to the Medicine Hat Tigers in the WCHL, now WHL, where his offensive contributions began to emerge, complementing his already stellar defensive play. His final minor league stop was with the Denver Spurs, where he played in both the Western Hockey League, WHL, and the Central Hockey League, CHL. Across these 5 leagues, spanning from 1973 to 1977, Bob was a force, a relentless defenseman who wasn't afraid to throw his weight around. He protected his net like a lion guarding its cubs, his presence alone often enough to deter opposing forwards. His passion wasn't just for the intricate dance of the game. It was for the raw, visceral fight, for the challenge of every shift, for the sheer thrill of dominating every inch of the ice. He was a player who understood the psychological warfare of hockey as much as the physical, and he excelled at both. Then came the pinnacle, the stage every aspiring hockey player dreams of, the National Hockey League. For 4 electrifying seasons, from 1973 to 1977, Bob Gassoff proudly donned the iconic blue and gold of the St. Louis Blues. His commitment was unwavering, his presence felt in every game. He played a remarkable 245 regular season games, a testament to his durability, consistency, and the deep trust his coaches placed in his abilities. While his primary role was undeniably defense, he wasn't merely a stay-at-home blue liner. Gassoff possessed an underrated offensive upside, contributing a respectable 11 goals and 47 assists, accumulating a total of 58 points during his NHL tenure. These offensive contributions showed a player who was evolving, capable of more than just stifling opponents. But here's where the legend of Bob Gassoff truly takes shape, where his name became synonymous with an era of hockey defined by grit and raw courage. His penalty minutes, PIMS, a colossal 866 PIMs in just 245 games. Let that statistic resonate for a moment. This wasn't just a player. This was the enforcer, the unwavering guardian of the crease, a man who instilled fear in the hearts of opposing forwards. He was the one who wouldn't back down, who was always ready to drop the gloves and stand up for his teammates, regardless of the consequences. In the rough-and-tumble world of 1970s hockey, where toughness was not just admired but an absolute necessity for survival and success, Bob Gassoff was a king. He played hard, he hit harder, and he exuded an aura of indomitable will that permeated the entire team. His physical play wasn't just about fighting. It was about deterrence, about setting a tone, about making opponents think twice before venturing into the blues zone. He was a warrior on skates, carving out a legacy, one bone-rattling check and one fierce bout at a time. Even in the pressure cooker of the NHL playoffs, he played 9 games, contributing 1 assist and adding another 16 PIMs to his formidable tally, proving his intensity translated to the biggest stage. But the story of Bob Gassoff, for all its glory and grit, takes an abrupt and profoundly tragic turn. It was Sunday, May 29th, 1977, a Memorial Day weekend in the United States, a time for barbecues, family gatherings, and the unofficial start of summer. Bob was just 24 years old, a rising star on the cusp of truly cementing his place as an NHL icon. His career trajectory was soaring, his impact undeniable. The scene of this devastating turn of events was the sprawling 200-acre farm of his teammate and friend, Garry Unger, located near Gray Summit, Missouri. The atmosphere that afternoon was likely jovial, filled with laughter and the rumble of powerful motorcycles. Around 6 p.m., Gassoff, along with several others, decided to take some motorcycles for a spin around Unger's expansive property. The details that emerge later paint a heartbreaking picture. Garry Unger, in a subsequent and deeply somber recollection, admitted to a gnawing unease, a feeling of foreboding as he watched his friend. Unger recalled wondering if it was truly a good idea for Gassoff to be riding a motorcycle, given that Bob had been drinking and, crucially, lacked any significant experience riding motorcycles. This seemingly minor detail, overlooked in the camaraderie of the moment, would prove to be tragically pivotal. A chill runs down your spine just contemplating it, doesn't it? This wasn't just a casual ride. It was a series of fateful decisions converging towards an unimaginable outcome. Gassoff, perhaps fueled by a combination of youthful exuberance and impaired judgment, ventured off Unger's private property. He turned onto a gravel road, a seemingly innocuous path that soon merged into a winding, ascending road leading up a hill towards Villa Ridge, Missouri. The circumstances were already precarious. Bob was not wearing a helmet, a decision that screams with tragic irony in hindsight, and his motorcycle had no license plates, suggesting a casual, perhaps ill-conceived joyride. He decided to ride just a short distance up the hill, intending to turn back almost immediately. But as he began his descent, fate intervened with brutal and uncompromising finality. He collided head-on with a car driven by a man named Douglas Klekamp. The impact was immediate, violent, and catastrophic. Bob Gassoff was killed instantly, his promising life extinguished in a horrifying flash. Klekamp, the driver of the car, miraculously walked away from the devastating wreckage unharmed. The aftermath was swift and profound, sending shockwaves through the hockey community and beyond. The St. Louis Blues organization, his teammates, friends, and family were plunged into unimaginable grief. In October of that same year, just months after the tragedy, Gassoff's heartbroken widow, Diane Gassoff, took legal action, filing a $3 million lawsuit against Unger, his wife, and Klekamp. The lawsuit alleged that Klekamp was acting as an employee of the Ungers, running errands for them at the time of the collision, further complicating the already painful circumstances. Gary Unger, a man who had shared the ice with Bob, battled alongside him, and witnessed the events leading to his death, would later describe Gassoff's passing as one of the most devastating moments of his entire life. The depth of his grief was palpable, a testament to the bond he shared with his fallen teammate. And the heartache deepened even further with the knowledge that Gassoff's wife was pregnant at the time of the accident, carrying a child who would never know his father. Out of the ashes of this profound tragedy, however, a new life emerged, a bittersweet testament to Bob's enduring spirit and legacy. Just 2 months after the horrific motorcycle accident, his son, Bob Gassoff Jr., was born. Imagine the weight of growing up with the legend of a father you never had the chance to meet. A father who was a titan on the ice, a figure of immense power and courage, whose life was cut short far too soon. It's an almost unimaginable burden, but one that Bob Gassoff Jr. carried with remarkable strength and dedication. The apple, as the saying goes, truly did not fall far from the tree. Bob Gassoff Jr. inherited his father's undeniable passion and talent for hockey. He dedicated himself to the sport, playing a commendable 4 years of college hockey for the formidable Michigan Wolverines, a program renowned for developing top-tier talent. Following his successful collegiate career, he even embarked on a brief professional hockey journey, playing in the minor leagues for the Peoria Rivermen in the ECHL. He lived the dream, experiencing firsthand the world his father had so passionately embraced. But here's where the story takes an even more incredible and poignant turn, a testament to the depth of character inherited from his lineage. After deciding to retire from the demanding world of professional hockey, Bob Gassoff Jr. chose a different, yet equally challenging and heroic path. He became a Navy SEAL. Think about that for a moment. The son of a legendary hockey enforcer, a man known for his raw physical courage and unwavering resolve on the ice, went on to serve his country as one of its most elite and formidable warriors. It is a powerful, inspiring testament to the enduring legacy of strength, determination, discipline, and an unyielding commitment to something greater than oneself. Qualities that Bob Gassoff unknowingly passed down to his son, even in his tragic absence. Bob Jr.'s journey is not just a footnote, it's a profound continuation of a spirit of uncompromising excellence. The legacy of Bob Gassoff, however, extends far beyond his family and the immediate circle of those who knew him. His impact on the St. Louis Blues organization and the wider hockey world was so profound, so deeply felt, that even in death, his presence continued to resonate, casting a long shadow of respect and admiration. In a rare and deeply moving tribute, the St. Louis Blues immediately retired his number 3 jersey after his passing. This wasn't just a gesture, it was a solemn promise, a permanent acknowledgement of his immense contribution. That iconic number, once worn with such pride and ferocity by Bob, was hoisted to the rafters of the arena, a permanent symbol of remembrance, respect, and eternal gratitude. It stands as a silent, powerful monument to a player who embodied the heart and soul of the team, a warrior whose spirit would forever watch over the ice. The retirement of his number was not merely about his statistics or his role as an enforcer. It was a testament to the person he was, the teammate he was, and the indelible mark he left on the franchise and its devoted fan base. And to further honor his memory, to ensure that his dedication and his spirit of continuous improvement would continue to inspire future generations of hockey players, the Bob Gassoff Trophy was established in 1978. This prestigious award is presented annually to the most improved defenseman in the Central Hockey League, CHL, the very league where Bob himself honed his craft. The trophy serves as a living, breathing tribute, keeping his name and his ethos alive within the sport. It recognizes the hard work, the perseverance, and the commitment to growth that characterized Bob's own journey. It's a powerful reminder that even though his physical presence was lost too soon, his influence on the game, his embodiment of the qualities that make a great defenseman, continues to shape and inspire athletes today. So, while his time on the professional ice was tragically and agonizingly short, Bob Gassoff carved out a legend that transcended mere statistics and highlights. He was a force of nature, a fearless defenseman, a loyal and unwavering teammate, and a man whose life, though brief, left an indelible mark on everyone he encountered and on the very fabric of hockey history. From the humble frozen pond of his family farm in British Columbia to the roaring electric arenas of the National Hockey League, Bob Gassoff lived every single moment with an intensity that burned bright, leaving a trail of unforgettable moments and a legacy of uncompromising grit. His story is more than just a sports biography. It is a poignant and powerful reminder of the fragility of life, the explosive power of passion, the profound meaning of commitment, and the enduring legacy of a true hockey icon. He wasn't just a player, he was a phenomenon, a legend etched into the very soul of the game, a figure who will forever be remembered not just for how he played, but for who he was. And that, my friends, is a story that will live forever, echoing through the halls of hockey history, a timeless narrative of a life lived to its absolute fullest, a light extinguished too soon, yet shining brightly through eternity.